Where do things stand between the Packers and the Jets in regards to the trade for Aaron Rodgers? Some new information is out there, including a thought from one of Aaron Rodgers' former teammates. Let's talk about that and more in today's Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
We didn't shock nobody. Another freaking game. Y'all fought your asses off. That was awesome.
My intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Hit it!
We have Garrett Wilson. Let's freaking go. We have Brees Hall. We are ready to win. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have an elite defense. You're welcome on the Jet bandwagon. Now, let's talk about the New York Jets. This is the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. Shout out to Gator for the intro. At Gator McCluskey Reviews. I'm going to put his link to his YouTube channel in the description for this video. Subscribe. Gator is a talented dude. Check out his channel. He was so kind enough to make that intro video for us here on the show. All right, let's dive in. Here's the latest with the Jets and the Aaron Rodgers trade talks with the Packers. All right, there's a lot of people throwing out different days on when this could be finalized. The reality is there is leverage on both sides, but the overwhelming majority of people I speak to and see believe the Jets have the leverage here. And I want to go to something that one of Aaron Rodgers' close friends said, and someone who covers the Packers. That's former fullback John Kuhn. John Kuhn tweeted the following earlier today. Imagine Aaron Rodgers telling Joe Douglas not to make the trade because it's too much to give up. Imagine that. That's what's happening here, folks. Rodgers, when he went on that interview with Pat McAfee, the whole point was to put pressure on the Packers to get this done. I believe Rodgers probably originally wanted to go on there right after the trade was announced, became official. And as it dragged on and Green Bay refused to consummate the deal because they're asking for way too much, that's when Aaron Rodgers said, all right, I'm going to go on there. I'm going to put all the pressure on the Packers front office to do the right thing. Tom Brady left for nothing. All right, New England let him go. They redid his contract so they couldn't franchise him. And Brady went over to Robert Kraft's house the night before the decision and said, I want to let you know this is what's happening. That's it. That was how Tom Brady left. Aaron Rodgers, arguably the greatest quarterback in Packers history, is trying to get a similar situation to play out. Not go for nothing, but go for something reasonable. And once again, there's not a single NFL executive that believes Aaron Rodgers at age 39, who has threatened retirement the last 3 years, is worth a first-round pick at this point. Not an unprotected first-round pick. Albert Breer wrote today on MMQB that teams uninvolved in the Aaron Rodgers trade say that they would give up a second-round pick this year with a conditional pick or two on the back end. The idea of the Packers getting a first is unrealistic. That's what he got from other NFL GMs. And then he notes that a fair price for the Jets would be the second-round pick this year and a conditional pick this year, next, or both. One idea could be to have one pick be at a baseline, a third in 2024, that becomes a second if Rodgers makes the Pro Bowl on the original ballot, and a first if the Jets get to the Super Bowl, meaning the pick would be, at most, number 31. Or you could trade a 25 pick that rides in part on whether he plays in 2024. Or again, both. This shouldn't be taking this long. All right, the idea that the Packers are going to try and hold Aaron Rodgers hostage because they wanted to move on from him is silly. And Joe Douglas is not an idiot, and he's not going to get fleeced here. But that's where we are right now. Rodgers knows they're holding him hostage. He doesn't want to play for them. He wants to play for the Jets. But his whole point on McAfee is they didn't want me. They wanted to move on from me. So this is not how you treat an all-time legend who's arguably the best player in the history of your franchise. But the reality is, I don't think the Packers are dumb enough to let this get to the draft on April 27th and get nothing. You know what I'm saying? They want picks this year, you'd think. Don't you want to help Jordan Love? Don't you want that Jet second-round pick number 43 overall? It's got to get done before the draft. But the reality is the Jets don't need to sweat anything. All right. The offseason program doesn't begin until April 17th. The Jets already know what Aaron Rodgers' cap hit is going to account for when they acquire him. They already know that. So they can still operate in free agency knowing eventually they're going to get this guy. They're not missing out on players because they don't have Rodgers, whereas the Packers are dumb enough to drag this along. It makes them look like idiots. It's not right to Jordan Love. And they're hurting their football team if they let it drag on past the draft. May 1st, the fifth-year option deadline gets underway. They're going to pick up Jordan Love's option if Aaron Rodgers is still on the team. You want to take that risk, Green Bay? It's silly. Neither side really has true leverage. All three parties are interested in getting this done, so it should get done. But the idea that, Jet fans are dying for Rodgers, so Joe Douglas is going to feel that pressure, or Woody Johnson's going to step in and say, give them whatever they want, get it done. Do you know how Joe Douglas operates? You know how the Jets have been operating the last couple of years? Like a functioning franchise that Aaron Rodgers actually wants to go play for? It's not going to happen. All right? And the Packer media types that are blindly defending their organization. I've never seen anything like this. Like, the other NFL beats have, like, fanboys that cover them? Unbelievable to me. The reality is a fair trade for Rodgers is a 2nd and a 4 this year, a conditional pick next year that could be a 1 if the Jets win the Super Bowl. It's a 2 if he plays in 2024. Let's say it's a 3 if they make the playoffs. Like, I'm willing to play ball with the Packers here. But this report that they want a first-round pick and more is nonsense. He's 39. You're inheriting, if you're the Jets, $110 million left on the deal. And you want a first-round pick for a guy that said he was 90% retired the other day? BS. It's not happening. And then, Green Bay leaked it to Adam Schefter. The Packers look at this like the Matthew Stafford trade, which was 2 1s and a third. What? Matthew Stafford was like 33 years old when that deal was made. Aaron Rodgers is 39. Enough. Right? It's stupid. That's why Rodgers is ticked. That's why he went on with Pat to put the pressure on the front office. All right? Brady went for nothing. Nothing. They let him go. That's how you treat a franchise great. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Jets should have to give up nothing for Rodgers, because that's not true. They're going to have to give up something. But a first-round pick, multiple first-round picks, they're going to cave, and Douglas will win because this is what he does. This is what Joe Douglas does. He wins. He wins trades. And Aaron Rodgers eventually will get what he wants, and the Jets will get what they want, which is Rodgers playing for the New York Jets. And we will be hearing this soon at MetLife. It's coming, folks. I'm telling you. But don't think for a second Rodgers is not telling Joe Douglas not to make the trade because it's too much to give up. John Kuhn put that out there. Guy knows Aaron Rodgers as well as anyone. Played for the Packers, covers them for their radio station. He's their sideline analyst. Because I saw something funny. Some guy named Aaron Nagler, who's like a Packers blogger, he tweeted, yes, the Jets could just move on and sign whatever Drek is left at quarterback and then proceed to fire everyone involved after another miserable season. That'd be very Jets. Real galaxy brain stuff on Twitter.com today. And then someone responds, imagine Joe Douglas telling Aaron Rodgers that we're not making this trade because you're not worth it. Imagine that. To which then John Kuhn said, now imagine Rodgers telling Douglas not to make the trade because it's too much to give up. Imagine that. That's what's happening here, folks. Rodgers knows what's going on. The Jets are keeping him abreast of the situation. That's why he went on with Pat and said, I'm not the holdup. People think I was holding this up. I knew I wanted to play for the Jets on Friday. That's the reality. It's Green Bay here being greedy, being unreasonable. You don't want the damn guy. So now that he's ready to move on too, you're going to ask for 2 first-round picks for a 39-year-old who has $110 million left on his contract? Get the bleep out of here. That is BS. BS. But this will get done because Joe Douglas will get it done. Best believe that. I laugh. I saw it today. Joe Banner, the ex-Eagles president, said the Jets have all the leverage. Yeah, they do. They could wait. They don't need Aaron Rodgers at OTAs on April 17th. He knows the offense already. He could be at minicamp in June. OTAs on April 17th. He'll be like the draft is really the farthest this goes, but I think it gets done next week. I'm with Trey Wingo. I think eventually cooler heads prevail. And if it's not next week, it's early in the following week when the NFL owners meetings get underway and Gutekunst and Douglas can get in a room and maybe have a cocktail together and hammer this out. We'll open it up now to your comments and questions, your thoughts on where things stand right now between the Rodgers trade talks between the Jets and the Packers. But this is getting done. All right? This is getting done when Green Bay stops being unreasonable with their trade requests. Once again, Tom Brady went for nothing. Treat your legends the right way. All right? You want to piss off Aaron Rodgers? That's real smart. Open it up to your comments and questions. Take some of your calls as well. Dano with the first super chat. Thank you for the live. Money on McGovern and Calais a week into free agency. McGovern, the longer he's available, the more I kind of want the Jets maybe just to bring him back, just so they have some insurance there. Because obviously his cost is not going to be crazy. If he was crazy, or he was viewed as like a can't-miss center, he'd be signed by now. Calais Campbell, I believe, would be a perfect Jet. That type of veteran, ring chasing at the end of his career, could still be a productive player. I would take him in a second. Mr. God Air says, could Rodgers retire for a day to prevent the Packers from getting any compensation? It's not going to work that way. I don't think you could just retire and then unretire. Calvin writes in, nothing's guaranteed. Carter couldn't be tackled year one. Year two was iffy. Who knows what injuries or performance changes? Keep adding talent. Yeah, obviously, Calvin. Who would tell you not to add talent? You think the Jets just add Rodgers and they're like, okay, shit, our work here's done. They're all in. They're all in to try and win. Davion says Aaron Rodgers has leverage. Simple. Yeah, and John Kuhn pointed that out. He basically told you Rodgers is telling Joe Douglas not to make the trade right now because it's too much to give up. Want to know why? Because Aaron Rodgers realizes, hey, if I'm going to go to New York, I want to make sure they have their first-round pick this year so they could use that on a player that's going to help me. You know, something that Green Bay didn't do when they took Jordan Love, coming off a 13-3 season in which Rodgers had that team in the championship game. Remember that, folks? I mean, what a moronic front office in Green Bay. Ron writes in, hi, Jake. Is it true Green Bay has rescinded the okay to talk to A-Rod? No, Ron. They can't rescind shit. Rescinded. What are they going to do? Absolutely not. It's done. It will get done. It's just stupid. It's dragging on. I want to talk about other things with this football team besides the ongoing trade talks. It's silly. Let's go to the calls. Let's go to Alex from D.C. He's first up tonight on the show. What's up, Alex?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, point I want to make is this. We are New Yorkers. We do the fleecing when it comes to negotiation. We don't get fleeced. All right? I want everybody, I don't know all this talk like, you know, they want to just give up. They want to give up this, give up that to get the deal done. I think we have the leverage. And guess what? If we don't, the more time it takes, the more the leverage will come on our side. A-Rod is on record. He wants to come to us. No one else. There's no one. We're not competing with anyone as far as a trade is concerned. The Colts aren't negotiating. Not a single team. Not the Colts. Not the Falcons. Not the Panthers. Not the Texans where you're at down there in Houston. Nobody. So what the hell are we gonna go and just say? Oh yeah, take 2 first-round picks. I'm watching First Take, and Stephen A. is like, he's like, oh, you got to give this, got to give that. And yeah, if it's an open market and if it's, you know, you're competing with other teams, he's on the record that he wants to come to us. So time is on our side. Let the chips fall where they may. If he has to, what do they want him to report to Green Bay for their OTAs? Do they want him to report to Green Bay for their training camp? Obviously not. I would wait this out until June, Jake. I don't care. I would wait this out till June. You get a 3rd-round pick, conditional, and you'll like it. You're not getting a first. You're not getting a next year's first. You're not getting none of that because I'm not competing with anybody to get him. You want him gone. He wants gone. This is where he wants to go. Boom. That's how you got to do it.
Alex, great call. Here's the thing. I'm not even trying to like rip the Packers off if I'm the Jets. Like there should be a fair trade that could be made here. Like, I'm not trying to give, like, we're going to give them more than the Jets gave them 15 years ago for Brett Favre. All right? That was a 3rd-round pick. Conditional 3rd-round pick. They're going to get more than that. I'm willing to put in the 2nd rounder this year. Give them a 4th this year even. A conditional pick next year. That could be a 1 if the Jets win the Super Bowl. You want to sell your franchise on, well, hey, it could be a 1, and then you guys get to root for Aaron because if he wins the Super Bowl, it helps the team. Like, I'll listen to all that. But it's stupid because they don't want him. So make a fair deal for a 39-year-old quarterback who the Jets are inheriting the vast majority, if not all, of the contract. But it's not going to go till June either. No way. I mean, we're talking about a team that has to exercise Jordan Love's 5th-year option on May 1st. And by the way, don't think for a second the NFL won't step in if it really drags. If we're talking about something that's dragging post-draft, you don't think the NFL wants to know if Rodgers is going to be on one of the biggest football teams in the country, in the biggest media market in the world, when the schedule release comes out on likely mid-May, May 11th, roughly? You don't think Roger Goodell and the schedule makers want to know if the Jets have Aaron Rodgers so they can put them in prime time for 5 games? The Cowboys are on the Jets schedule this year. Rodgers versus Dallas on Thanksgiving. You don't think they want to know that? So, like, I'm not even trying to rip off the Packers here, but make a fair deal. All right? He's not worth 2 first-round picks. This is not the Matthew Stafford trade. Brian Gutekunst, Mark Murphy, get your heads out of your own asses and realize this is a very unique, unprecedented situation. All right? Tom Brady left for nothing. They let him go. Nothing. All right? The Jets are trying to give you a second-round pick and conditional picks. Why should the Jets get screwed over if Rodgers only plays 1 year? Which is possible. I think he personally plays 2, but we don't know that. Ridiculous to me. This should be done by now. The reason why Rodgers went on with McAfee is because he knows it should be done by now. And the Jets really don't need to rush. We're rushing as fans because we want to get to the press conference. We want to see Rodgers put on the jersey. I want Namath there handing him the number 12 if he's going to wear it. But the reality is the draft's not till April 27th. OTAs start on April 17th. He doesn't need to be there for that. He really doesn't. Like, there's no real deadline here. The Jets know what the cap hit's going to be for Rodgers when they bring him in. They already know it. So they can still operate free agency like they're going to get him. I mean, this whole thing is just silly. Absolutely silly. Back to the calls we go. Let's go to Asman. He's up next on our show. What's up, Asman?
What's up, Jake, man? I
we
love
doing?
the Knicks hot, though. Everything great.
Dude, how
Just
about
got
that
home
win
from
today,
work.
man?
It was great. I was listening to it while I was at work, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Tremendous win.
yeah, with the whole situation here, I have like it's hypothetically speaking. I think that, they came out, the Greenbay, I meant. They came out, they said they were done with Rodgers, whatever. I think they felt like, maybe he had told him maybe he was 90-10 on retirement type of thing. But they come off, while they were in Indy, they bluffed him off. And they said, literally, we don't want it. We want to move on. So what I think is the Jets had a trading place which they accepted. I believe they accepted, or something kind of, behind they spoke about it. What the trade compensation was going to look like if he was to say yes. And then they gave him the permission, hey, go and speak to him. Let's see what he says. Then they came back to him, well, the guy is in. But I think Green Bay now is trying to hijack the compensation because they know what Aaron Rodgers being mad is worth. They know he's going to go out and prove them wrong, and that's what they're scared of. So now they're digging their heels, and I think that's why Aaron Rodgers came up and said, now they're digging their heels. Now they're asking for more. Now they making it harder for him. Oh, I can't believe he's gonna play after maybe he was retiring, and I think that's what happened. What really happened at the end.
Yeah, Asman, I agree. I mean, it's time to make a deal, though. It's ridiculous. It's time to make a deal. And shout out to the Knicks. That was a freaking fantastic win. Best team in the West. Knicks beat them at the Garden. Coming off that West Coast road trip, early game. You're thinking, are they going to come out with energy? Spectacular win by the Knicks. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. The best thing to happen to the Knicks in years. Years. Maybe their best free agent signing of all time. Seriously, look it up. Let's see. Mitch says, Jake, please don't get so upset. It's only football. Enjoy the journey. Mitch, I do this for a living, brother. All right. It's not being upset. It's called passion. All right. They pay me to give sports opinions, so I'm going to be fired up and give them. Altoona writes in, Peter King said it should be a second this year and either a fourth in 2025 if he only plays 1 year, or a first in 2025 if he plays 2 years. Nothing in the 2024 draft. Whatever scenario you want to come up with, there is a deal to be made here. All right. That's why it's so silly. There's a deal to be made here. Peter King's scenario is realistic. I don't know if that's the one that gets it done, but it's realistic. Vinny says, is his new deal going to be just for 1 year? I don't know about that. I think the Jets are going to take on his contract. Why would he give money back? They might tack on extra years, void years, to help manipulate the cap. Mercy says, Jake, please tell all these fans to shut up that are whining. The Jets are losing many free agents, all because of the pursuit of Rodgers. They are clueless. Yeah, that's not true. Once again, that's not true. John Kuhn essentially told you that Rodgers told Joe Douglas, don't make the trade because we're not going to get ripped off here. All right? That tweet's important from John Kuhn. Don't think for a second that's not real. Rodgers is in on this. He's going to be a Jet. He's been recruiting for the Jets. You're not losing out on any free agents. They already know when they acquire Aaron Rodgers what his cap hit will account for. They already know that. That was the point. That's why they brought out the cap guy when they met with him in California, the team president, Jaime. So the Jets can operate in free agency knowing what Rodgers' cap hit will account for this year and next year. They already know. So not losing out on anyone. Carl writes in, Jake, imagine this. The Jets smoke the Patriots at home and at Foxborough and then yells, I own you, like with the Bears. Oh, man, I can't wait for the season to start. If Rodgers yelled, I own you at Patriot fans, I will erect a statue of the man myself. That'd be one of the great moments of my life. I kid you not. Prestige says, Tom Grossi said the Packers should get a first and a second this year and Corey Davis for Rodgers. Well, Tom Grossi should get his head out of his you-know-what if he thinks he's getting a first, a second, and Corey Davis. What else do they want? Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, too? FPP says, Jake, many of us Packers fans want Murphy and Gutekunst. The thing is, FPP, I appreciate your Packer fandom. The Jets aren't trying to rip you off. They want a fair deal. They're not giving you a first-round pick unprotected for a 39-year-old who might only play 1 year for them. Like, that's logic. That's common sense. Explosive Diarrhea says, I owe Trey Wingo an apology saying he jumped the gun 2 weeks back. You do. Mr. God Air says, hit the like button. Absolutely. You got a Saturday night show right now. Myotic says, how much do we save if we give Zach away for a late pick, 4th or 5th to some team that wants to work on him? You don't save anything. Nothing. Zilch. Have you seen his dead cap hit? If he's on the team or not on the team, it counts just the same. Ron says, Jake, would Green Bay agree to our first and we get Green Bay second? I'm not doing that, Ron. They're not getting a first-round pick. Once again, Albert Breer wrote a story today where he spoke with teams uninvolved in the Rodgers trade, and they all said the most they would give up is a second-round pick and a conditional pick or 2 on the back end. No one's giving Green Bay a first-round pick, all right? And they can't bring in any other team at this point that can get in on Rodgers. Every other team filled up their quarterback needs, or they accounted for their quarterback position via the cap hit already. You can't take on $110 million. Not every owner could do that, all right? Because you got to put that money away on the side. You got to guarantee it right away. It is over for the Packers. He is going to be a Jet. Stop dragging it on and make a fair deal for both sides. Saying that this is like the Matt Stafford situation, as Mike Florio reported the Green Bay thinking, and I think Adam Schefter said the same thing, is ridiculous. Enough. Let's go back to the phones. 24 Resh, you're up next on the show. What's up, 24?
What's going on, Jake? How are you?
I'm living the dream, baby. How we doing?
I'm blessed. I'm waiting. Good things happen to those who wait.
We've been waiting a long time as Jet fans.
Exactly. Couple things on Aaron. I believe like his interview. One, you can't speak on another team because he's still a part of another team. So that was the whole. Oh, I can't wait till he speak on the Jets. He can't speak on them. It's nothing he can speak on because that's not tampering, but he's still a part of another team. Just like, when they asked Woody, oh, is Aaron, like, certain things you can't say. To me, that whole speech to me was stop guessing my worth and my time. He told everyone, I'm the greatest Packer of all time. You guys can argue, you guys can debate. So with that being said, I think he's telling them I'm worth whatever they're asking for. You guys, I want someone to want me, and I want you guys to stop expecting things from me and just let me play. So I feel like the Jets, no, he's not worth the first round pick. But dude, I'm a Heat fan. And I've grown up in New York my whole life. I'm a Jets fan, a Yankees fan, and I chose the Heat because I love, different things about the Heat. When LeBron told the Heat fans, I'm choosing Miami, that was the same thing Aaron saying, I want to come to the Jets to me. So it's one of those like, dude, you got someone saying like, I want to just go get him. Just get him here. And I guarantee Brady played 45 years in a schematic different style. Aaron can play another 5 years. If he really wanted to, he can play 4 years. And I don't think he's giving us 1 year. I guarantee you he's going to give us 2-3 years. Because out of the first 2 years, we're going to get closer and closer. We're not going to get worse. It's no way we're going to get worse. So it's just like he's walking away from what now? Imagine when he plays a full year. He will be walking away from more than just a legacy. Now, you'll be walking away. You get what I'm saying? So, and Allen's there, Allen Lazard and Hackett. Dude, he's not coming here for 1 year. And I know the Packers know he's not going there for 1 year. And it's one of those like, yeah, respect me and they respect them. One of those. So I think it was kind of a shot at both of the teams. It's like, at the end of the day, just get this shit done. I told you guys, I think people get in a misconception, 90%, 10% going in. Because at the end of the day, he was still going to play. Because he still had $110 million. To me, it was, if I tell the team I'm going somewhere to get my mind right, and you tell me to take your time, I don't expect you to shock me. No, I don't. When they asked about Aaron, I'm waiting for Aaron to come back. Give him, that's the respect he was expecting, and it wasn't given.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's where it's not, you guys want to trade me as Jordan Love. No, he went in there coming out like, I want to fucking play again for the Packers, for whoever. But then when it's that, it's like, fuck this. You guys are not bringing Allen back. You guys are not bringing my guys back.
24. I let you go for a while. Let me stop you there. All right. The Jets are not at fault in this. Like, you're like, both teams are like, Aaron Rodgers wants to play for the Jets. He singled out the Packers front office on the Pat McAfee show, not just for shopping him when he was in the cave. That's irrelevant in this point I'm about to make. He went out there and noted that he's not the one holding this up. People were blaming Aaron Rodgers. Not typical diva again, holding up two franchises. He's pissed because he said it's Green Bay holding up the compensation. That's what happened. The Jets are not at fault here. The Jets are trying to make a deal. And how dumb is Brian Gutekunst, seemingly, that you let Aaron Rodgers speak to the Jets and you didn't have the trade parameters worked out? Or did they have them worked out and he reneged on what they agreed upon before Douglas, Saleh, Hackett, and Woody got on that plane 2 weeks ago to meet with him in person? That's what happened here, folks. Either the deal was agreed upon when they went on the plane a couple of weeks ago, or Green Bay reneged on it. Because that's why Rodgers is pissed, and that's why he went on the McAfee show to single out the front office saying to do the right thing. And that's why he went out there and probably told John Kuhn to tweet what he tweeted. Imagine Rodgers telling Douglas not to make the trade because it's too much to give up. Imagine that. That's why he's pissed. Rodgers does not want to go for a first-round pick because his ego is, well, I'm one of the great quarterbacks of all time. If I get traded, I have to go for at least a first. You think he cares about that? No. He wants to go somewhere where he could win. Brett Favre went for a third. He doesn't care. Stupid. That's what's happening here. And it's dragging on for no reason. Arizona Jet with a super chat. Would love Rodgers. Took less. Stick it to the pack. He very well might when they renegotiate his contract and we get those details when this trade is finalized. Jake Klein says, Jake, do the Houston Cougar fans actually believe they could truly win? Only if Marcus Sasser's healthy. I got that game on right now, Jake. We'll see. The committee did screw them, though, Jake. You're talking about playing Auburn and Birmingham? I mean, giving a 9 seed a home game in the second round? What a joke. Dane with a super chat. Trade back 1 to 2 times. Go center, then best player available rest of the way. I want to tackle at 13, Dane. I'm not just trading back for the sake of trading back. Mackenzie says, what do you think about C.J. Gardner-Johnson? He's my number 1 target on defense. Hell yeah. BYU fan says it's time to walk away from the deal. Why? So your boy Zach Wilson could start again? Shadow Realm, you go. We'll see you later. Have a good one. Don't come back. 04 Jet fan, you're up next on the show. What's up, 04?
Not much, Jake. I'll tell you, when I watched the press conference he did with Pat McAfee last week, I was driving my truck down the road at work, and my mic got stuck open on my CB. Right at the moment he said, I intend to play for the New York Jets, I got in some trouble. But I want to talk some free agency with you real quick. Calais Campbell, Gardner Johnson should be the 2 guys they bring in the fastest.
Agreed.
Look at McGovern, see what he's wanting. I want him back. He's been a stud center for us. Not great, not bad.
You use the word stud, though. Stud implies he's been great. He's been a league average center who's been durable, to his credit.
That's why I'm referring to him as a stud. He's been durable.
Okay, that's fair.
But I love the middle of the O-line depth they've brought in already. I love it. We just need the starters. Other than that, Jake, I love what you do, man. You make great content. Peace out. Have a good night.
Hey, appreciate the call, 04. Thanks for watching. Let's go to Ricky NY. He's up next on our show. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, what's up? I keep hearing this stuff about, Rodgers' ego, this and that. And, when he was on McAfee, he did a very good job, I think, of laying everything out. And that first long, people say, oh, there was this long rambling thing. And then finally he got to the Jets. No, that was a very calculated thing. Do you think that it was an accident that he thanked everyone from like strength and conditioning guys to equipment guy? I mean, he thanked everybody. And I think he did that to let people know, like, hey, you know what? I pay attention to all the little guys. I pay attention to everybody around me. It isn't all about me. And no, Aaron Rodgers isn't holding out to make sure that we trade a first round. He wants a first round pick blocking for him. He wants a first round pick catching for him. He doesn't want him traded for him. That's just a nonsense take. I don't know where that's coming from. You know what? I had some different varying opinions on Rodgers, but I'll tell you what, after listening to that McAfee thing, now I understand why they say he's so mercurial and so intelligent. That was a very, very calculated thing. I mean, from start to finish. And I think he did a beautiful job of laying it out there, sticking it to the Packers, and putting pressure on them to get it done at the same time.
Yep.
Very, very, very good talk by him. And now we just, and the other thing is, I think the Green Bay guy, I think that he backed out because everyone's looking at him like he's a stooge because he kind of looks like one.
Yeah. Well said. Well said, Ricky. I mean, I thought Aaron came across very likable in that interview too, but I've actually heard him on with McAfee before. Like those, like that, him and that show have a rapport. That's why he goes on every week. I also heard from a little buddy that, or a little birdie, I should say, someone I trust, that they pay him $1 million a year to go on during the season every week. So he's doing all right for himself to go on for an hour every week. Brian says, time to pivot to Carson Wentz. Brian, to the Shadow Realm you go. Jets Carpetbagger says, Jake, how much to permanently ban BYU fan? Permanently ban. If you give me $100, you got it. We'll see you later. $100. That seems fair. Back to the calls we go. Let's go to Luppy. He's up next. What's up, Luppy?
Hey, how you doing, Jake? It's great to hear you. It's nice to catch you again. Listen, nothing but positive vibes we need. I don't know what's going on. We are on the precipice of actually having a great team who's going to challenge for a Super Bowl. We should all, as Jet fans, embrace this. Let them drag it out as long as they want. They need to trade Aaron as much as we need Aaron here.
Yeah.
You know that? Listen, and here's my little Jake, positive vibe guy. Here he is.
Hey.
Jake over here. All right?
That's
So
funny.
seriously, though, we all need to focus. It's going to get done. Positive vibes, and that's what I'm trying to bring here today.
Luppy, great call. Plenty of positive vibes. It's going to get done. It's just stupid it's not done. That's really my point. Now, there's really no rush, right? I'll give you the timeline again. OTAs don't start till April 17th. Rodgers don't need OTAs. All right? It'd be cool if he's there. He doesn't need it. He needs to be at minicamp, mandatory minicamp, and then obviously he's all in for training camp. That's it. We're not worried about that. We're getting a pissed off, revengeful Aaron Rodgers. He's going to ball out. We're not worried. The draft is, to me, the deadline, April 27th. If it's really going to drag, because if you're Green Bay, how dumb are you to not try and get picks this year to help out Jordan Love? So, your decision to move on from a 4-time MVP doesn't look as bad if Jordan Love actually plays well this year. Maybe you want to help him? I mean, you got to replace Alan Lazard. Maybe you want a receiver. I don't know. Just an idea. Corey Davis could be in this deal, but apparently you're dragging your feet, Green Bay. And then May 1st is the 5th-year option deadline. So it's coming. But it's just stupid. Jets Carpetbagger with a $100 super chat. Holy crap. I am a man of my word. We will be banning the living you-know-what at a BYU fan. Second I see him, he's gone. Gone. And anyone who comes back with BYU fan in their name automatically banned from the channel. This is what we call capitalism, folks. I could be bought. I'm not going to lie to you. All right? This is not my full-time job. I do this for fun. Now, I definitely appreciate the tip right here, but this is fantastic. I'm going to have a nice steak dinner tonight, courtesy of Jet Carpetbagger. Tremendous. Absolute tremendous. This is one of the great moments in the history of the show. I've been dying to ban BYU fan. Dying. And this gives me a reason. Oh, I am so happy. I am so happy. BYU fan, you're about to walk the plank, say your last words, and you're gone. See ya. Never coming back. Done. Shout out to Jets Carpetbagger, one of the all-time greats. All-time greats. Back to the phone calls. Let's go to Jets Johnny, who's up next. What's up, Jets Johnny?
Jake, what's up, my man? Long time no see. How you been, brother?
I'm doing better now. I just got $100 to ban a troll. I mean, that's like the American dream right there.
I know, man. I was like, I don't know if I want to come on. We should let Carpetbagger come on, give him about 20 minutes. You know what I mean? But
whatever you want, Carpetbagger. If you want to come on and talk Jets, you're going to be the first caller moving forward.
I cede you my time because these BYU Zach Wilson truthers are too much, man. Like, I don't know how you watched last year and then are not just unbelievably excited about the Aaron Rodgers news. Like how are you not just patient, let it play out? You know, April 10th is what I feel like. You know what I mean? Like about 2 weeks before the draft is going to come out. He's going to come on McAfee. I feel like, what do you think about this, Jake? Like Jordan Whitehead, Corey Davis, and a conditional 4th. Like,
I don't know if they want players though. Like that's the thing.
No.
Like, if they want some players, like the Jets would have, like they would trade those guys. Like I'm not trying to even rob the Packers here. Like
right.
What annoys me is like there's a fair trade for both sides. Like it's in the best interest of the Jets and the Packers to get this deal done. There's no other suitors. Rodgers is basically telling Douglas, "Don't make the trade yet." Like everyone's on the same page here from the Jet side of things with Rodgers. It's like we're willing to give you a 2nd-round pick, conditional picks. Like we're not giving you 2 1st-round picks. That's asinine. We're not giving you a 1st-round pick because no one else thinks that's a good idea. So, like, there's a fair trade to be made here, and it's annoying. It's not. Look, it's annoying to us, but the Jets are fine. I have complete faith in Joe Douglas.
Right.
He's going to end up winning this.
Same. And that's why, like, the one thing about this thing is, like, if we had any other GM, if we had Tannenbaum, if we had any of these other scrubs, I'd be terrified right now that something terrible is going to happen. But because we got Joe Douglas, I got full faith and confidence that this is going to get done. Like, it's going to be a fair trade. But when people see this trade, they're going to be like, man, the Packers got fleeced because Joe Douglas knows exactly what he's doing. I'm super excited for this year, man. I can't wait.
Amen.
I'm looking ahead of the schedule. Last thing, I'm looking primetime games against the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Dolphins, the Bills, all kinds of stuff. We play the Cowboys next year with Aaron Rodgers. Like, I think the max is 7 primetime games.
Five.
Okay, so 5. I mean, we should max out on that, and I'm super pumped, Jay. Thanks for letting me on. Have a good one, bro.
Great call, Jets Johnny. Great call. We're awaiting a BYU fan here because when you put someone in timeout for 5 minutes, their stuff disappears. So I can't ban them until I see another comment. So the second we see a comment, he gone. Peter Chestnut with a super chat writes in, RIP BYU Jets fan, Jets forever. You're now on notice. Yeah, Jets forever is going to be a little more expensive. You know, I'm not going to name my price on that tonight, but I can be bought. Just know that. I can be bought. Percy's a Packer fan, says, stop with Corey Davis. He's not worth anything. I would disagree. You want an Alan Lazard replacement for similar money? Corey Davis. Like, have you seen the free agent wide receivers? Corey Davis is better than all of them besides Odell Beckham. So, just saying. JM says, Jake is sending BYU fan to a permanent darkness retreat. Well said. Well said. I've noticed we've had a lot of callers tonight who have called in from the darkness in honor of Rodgers, I suppose. Joel T says, Jake, it's all about revenge. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst is trying to get back at AR because he wanted him fired. Yeah, maybe, but that's not how to run your football team. Revenge, like, you know what's in the best interest of Brian Gutekunst? Getting a fair trade for Aaron Rodgers, clearing Rodgers from your cap, and building around your new quarterback that you drafted. That started all this. I mean, that's the reality. Daniel says Adam Thielen will be better than Davis. Corey Davis is 28. Adam Thielen's going to be 34. I disagree. Thielen, I think, is a better player, yes, but Corey Davis on the contract he's on is a pretty good deal, given the market. The Kaplan Center. Jake, do you ever consider that Jets Forever and BYU are children? They are trolls, Kaplan. They're trolls. They come in all shapes and sizes. John Wayne says, do you consider Rodgers a failure if you don't get a Super Bowl? No. Hell no. The Jets have not made the playoffs in 12 years, John. 12. It's the longest playoff drought in American sports. It's not a failure if they don't get to the Super Bowl. It's disappointing. You make this move because you think you could win the Super Bowl, but it's not a failure. If Aaron Rodgers comes here, wins an MVP, and the Jets lose to the Chiefs in the AFC title game, is that a failure? No, it's disappointing. It's not a failure. It's hard to win a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers only has one. It ain't easy to win. I think Brady has corrupted the minds of everyone. No one's winning 7. No one is. Luppy says, why do all these callers look like they're in the shadow room? I think I already said that already. My bad. Let's go back to the phones right now. We got Dan, the Jet fan. Speaking of the shadow room, he's in the dark. What's up, Dan?
Yeah, just a little bit. Got the light on here in the car. Yeah, happy Saturday night to you, Jake.
You too, Dan. I'm going to go eat some steak after this, courtesy of Jet Carpetbagger.
I was going to say, I'd ask you how you're doing, but obviously you're $100 richer. I mean, who would have? Well, anyways, yeah, like I said, I think this trade is actually going to get done sooner rather than later. Obviously, with the schedule coming out in a few weeks, obviously, it's like the second week of May. I mean, you'd figure, NFL would schedule makers would like to know, if Rodgers is playing for us.
The NFL steps in if it's not done by the schedule release because they now you're impacting their business. All right, New York market, Jets in prime time, 5+ times with Rodgers. They got to know.
Also, you'd figure, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, how much are those jerseys going to sell for?
That too.
They're gonna go as soon as he comes to the Jets. Yeah.
Amen.
Also, I'm still sticking to that week 2 prediction. Jets Monday Night Football on your birthday, man. You deserve that. Against Kansas City, that'd be a pretty cool one.
I think they win.
Yes, I think it'll be a cool one. Yeah, you have a good night. Appreciate it. Enjoy the $100.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate the call, man. Altoona says, I'll do a $300 super chat to permanently ban Jets forever. We need more than that, Altoona. Jets forever is a part of the family, even though he's an idiot. It's going to be more than 300. Mike writes in, as a Jet fan living in Boston for years, I cannot wait for that WWE belt shining in my Patriot fan friends' faces. Oh, it's going to be glorious. Going to be glorious. Tom writes in with a super chat. Jake, if A-Rod retires, then changes his mind like Brady, where do we stand? He's not retiring, Tom. Aaron Rodgers is not going to F the Jets over. All right, we're long past that. He's playing for the Jets. He's not going to screw over the Jet franchise. That's not what he's going to do. It's not happening. FPP says, Jake, many of us Packers fans want Goot and Murphy fired. I understand the frustration. I will say, you guys have had a great team the last couple of years. So Gutekunst has not been like the worst GM ever. We got a $4.99 offer to ban Jets forever. Interesting. Percy says, I'm going to get a Jets jersey and put BYU fan on the back. Dear God, I hope not. What a terrible idea. Honestly, to ban FM forever, I would gladly take some money on that. Got to think of the price. Malik Willis is better than Mike Vick. Shadow Realm. Let's see. I'm scouring the comments to see if BYU fan returns. I haven't seen it yet. Super chat from Daryl. You guys know the rules. Super chats always go first. Been a fan since Namath, Vinny, Chad, Mark, but this is some needed hope. It's a shot in the arm for this fan base. The media coverage will be insane. You know, it's funny. Aaron Rodgers didn't want to get a shot in the arm. Dun-dun-dun. That's the only dumb COVID joke I'll make because, the New York media is going to run with that nonsense. Let's see. R&R says, so glad you're a Jets fan, Jake. Always fun watching. Man, a lot of times I don't want to be a Jets fan, but it's all we know. KG says BYU is hiding. He is hiding. He knows if he says anything, he's done. It's over. Jay writes in with a super chat. Hit the like. I'm Joe Jet Fan 1 on that site owned by Elon. Started there because of the YouTube Jets family in September. Thanks, Jake. P.S. We love Jets forever. JW, thank you, man. Thanks for the super chat. And if everyone can hit the like button, it goes a long way. And please hit the subscribe button. Trini says, Jake, don't be Green Bay. Take the 300. Yeah, I guess I am being the Packers, right? Someone's offering me $300 to get rid of Jets forever. I'm saying no, but not enough. But I'm not going full Green Bay here because unlike the Packers, I'm not delusional, thinking that 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who's been year to year the last 3 years and has $110 million left on his contract, is somehow the same thing as Matt Stafford at age 33 getting traded for 2 1s and Jared Goff. Nonsense. Nonsense. Let's go back to the calls right now. This guy's been patiently waiting. Jets Turbulence, you're up next. What's up, man?
What's going on, Jake?
How we doing?
I am so amped, man. I mean, we've been Jet fans for such a long time. This is uncharted territory right here, what we're talking about. We've experienced the AFC Championship games. We know what that feels like, but we're going into a Super Bowl realm. That is not BS. That is not nonsense. The moment that Aaron Rodgers arrives to one Jets drive, instant Super Bowl contenders.
Yep.
Mahomes, all these guys, yes, build your team. We're building ours. And we're not just building it on veterans. We built it on the core of the draft via Joe Douglas. So right then and there, it's a perfect road for Aaron Rodgers to come in and do his damage. Let me tell you one more thing. The moment he hoists that Vince Lombardi trophy, It's going to be mimicked just like it was with Mark Messier. No one remembers about the 4 Stanley Cups that he had before coming here. And no one will remember when Aaron Rodgers took the Green Bay Packers to the Super Bowl, because this will overshadow that. Let's go, Jets Nation. Let's go, baby. And let's get them.
Great call. Jets Turbulence Podcast. Check it out, folks. That's the type of passion you get there. Love it. Love it. Let's see. Marcos with a super sticker. Thank you, Marcos. Appreciate that. Let's see. Franco says FM Junior needs to be banned too. I agree. Percy says year to year, WTF, are you smoking 2 MVPs? Okay, Percy, each of the last 3 off seasons, he has contemplated retirement. That's what he has said. So the Jets aren't giving you 2 first-round picks when they might only have them for a year. God, man, what is so complicated about this? Green Bay for life. Please, I will take on every Packer fan that probably is a bandwagon fan anyway, and not even from Wisconsin because they're such a big brand. It's not delusional. The fact that Rodgers is better than Stafford should keep you guys understanding the talent you're trading for. The Jets are willing to give you something, but 2 first-round picks for a 39-year-old? Get lost. FM Junior says, Jake, don't ban my daddy. FM, we might not have a choice. Stop saying dumb crap. John says, whoever you ban could just make another account. Then guess what? We ban that one. Takes 2 seconds. Takes 2 seconds. Lumpy says, FM Junior, FM the 3rd, 4th, etc. all need to be banned. There's a lot of banning going on. I'm pro free speech, but when you get banned, it's got to be a worthwhile cause. Gino says, how about a 13 and next year 4 comp? Why are the Jets trading the 13th overall pick? Someone needs to explain that to me. Why do the Jets need to get the Packers a first-round pick? Make it make sense. No one thinks that way around the NFL. Albert Breer wrote today that teams he spoke to uninvolved in the Rodgers trade say the most they would give up is a second-round pick this year with a conditional pick or 2 on the back end. Enough. You're not going to give away 13. They need that pick to actually do something the Packers didn't do. Maybe draft a receiver. Add to the offensive line. Enough. Percy says, good thing Jake is not the GM. You wouldn't be getting Rodgers and go winless the next 10 years again. Percy, when Joe Douglas smacks the living crap out of Brian Gutekunst in this deal, come back to this channel so I could drink your tears. Peter writes in with a super chat. For the record, I still believe in Zach, and I think Rodgers' back shoulder throws to Mims on the way, so Jets Forever is my guy. Jets Forever, you have a fan. There you go. Thanks for the super chat, Peter. Joel writes in with a super chat. Jets fan since 68. Great show, Jake. In between some successes, I've suffered many a year watching this franchise's debacles. It's time. The pieces are in place. Let's go, Jets. It's time. It's time. The Jets are going for it. This is all you can hope for. Give us a chance. Rodgers doesn't guarantee a championship. It gives you a chance, and that's what we waited for. FM says, Jake, don't ban me. Don't stop saying dumb stuff. I can be bought. Percy says, I will be back unless you ban me for $5 today. If you pay me $5, I gladly will ban you, Percy. Kaplan Center writes in, Jake, keep it up. The fan awaits you. Use the super chat for Grey Goose, dirty martini with blue cheese olives to go with your steak. Shout out to you, the Kaplan Center. Appreciate that. Pat McAfee's tank top says, the only way I'd give up the 13th pick if Green Bay gave us the 15th pick. I'm willing to do a pick swap, Pat McAfee's tank top. A pick swap, a second-round pick, a conditional pick next year. Let's go. Get it done. David writes in, think this could be the greatest Jets team of all time. The only way it can, David, is if they win a Super Bowl. Because the greatest Jets team of all time is the 1968 Jets. Period. So if this team wins a championship, they're the greatest team of all time. Tied with that team, and then we could debate and say which team's better. FM says, Jake, hopefully this isn't a dumb comment. Matt Ryan is plan B. I respect the troll job. Enjoy the Shadow Realm, FM. Well done. Green Bay for Life says, listen, Aaron Rodgers is not your average quarterback. He's a 39-year-old who could possibly take you to a Super Bowl. This opportunity does not come for a second rounder. We need 2 firsts, at least 1 to be fair. No, you don't. You don't. You don't do that for 1 year of the guy. Enough. Jones says, does YouTube take a piece of the Super Chat action? They do, unfortunately. You know what doesn't, though? Venmo. So if we ever ban Jets forever for life, it's going to be like $5,000, and I'm going to need that in Venmo. YouTube's not getting a piece of that. That's my money, baby. God, I cannot believe how many delusional Packer fans there are. I thought this was a smart fan base. No one's trying to rob you, but 2 firsts, saying this is like the Stafford trade, get lost. Get lost. The Jets will be happy to give you a conditional 1 next year, contingent on the Jets win the Super Bowl. Hell, you could have the Jets first next year if they make it to the Super Bowl. But the Jets got to protect themselves in case it's only 1 year. Let's see. King Blaze says, Jets have the leverage. Most people agree. Rodgers has literally told Joe Douglas, according to John Kuhn, don't trade me. It's too much to give up. That has happened. So it's going to play out. Manza says, take a second, conditional 1 next year. Yeah, it should be a 3rd. That could be all the way up to a 1 for next year. Agreed. Ridiculous. Peter says, I hope this isn't a dumb comment, but Rodgers has been making all wide receivers look good. He's going to feast with us. No, it's a great comment, Peter. You're right. You know what Garrett Wilson's about to be? Devontae Adams. You know what Elijah Moore's about to do? Become a really good player. You know what Alan Lazard's about to do? Oh, wait, be Alan Lazard because Aaron Rodgers is throwing him the ball. You know what CJ Uzama's about to do? Bengals CJ. Tyler Conklin, Vikings Tyler Conklin. Like, they're ready to win. They need to add to the offensive line, which they will. Improve the defense. The defense is already elite, but I want CJ Gardner-Johnson, and we go from there. Wolves said any Zach trolls left out there. They're still there. They are. Kay Riley's a Packer fan. LOL, you Jet fans getting agitated a lot sooner than I thought. Are you kidding? We're Jet fans. All we know is pain. All you guys have known is 33 straight years of Hall of Fame quarterback play. FM Jr. to the Shadow Realm for saying Rodgers is done. We'll see you later. Ricky says Conklin with A-Rod equals prime Zach Ertz. Sure. Nicholas says, didn't Trey Wingo say the deal's 99% done and will happen next week? Yeah, he did. I think it gets done next week, too. I've said that. I just think it's dumb it's not done now. Andy says, should I hammer the Jets over? Seems low. What's it at? Luppy says, Jake, is this offseason crazier than last year's? Yes, because you're talking about Aaron Rodgers, Luppy. So it has to be. Last offseason was nuts, though. 2 top 10 picks. Free agents of money to spend. The Jets, trading back into the first round to get Jermaine, trading up to get Brees. Last offseason was nuts. JT says, didn't CJ Gardner-Johnson re-sign with the Eagles? No, he did not. Altoona writes in, hope this isn't a dumb comment. Jalen Brunson is a bad man. You're damn right he is, Altoona. Holy crap. Jalen Brunson's only like the greatest thing to happen to the Knicks over the last like 25 years. What a win today. I was hyped watching that. All right? Hyped. I mean, he's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Let me see here. What do we got? What do we got here? Keep going with your comments. Gino says, do Jet fans like the Giants too? No. Andy says the Jet win total is minus 130 for over 9.5. I'd bet the over on that right now. Because it's going to move when the deal's official and the Jets add other free agents. I'll be in Vegas next week. I famously told everyone the night of the draft to bet the win total on the Jets over 5.5. I'll be making the same bet on over 9.5 if it stays there when I'm in Vegas next week. B. Silvis says, assuming we don't send our first in the Rodgers deal, how would you feel about using it to trade for Higgins or Judy? I'm not going to trade a first for Judy. I would do it for Higgins. Frank says, I wonder if this deal negotiating is going to need a mediator. I don't think we're at that point yet. David says, FM thrives in the shadow realm. Hey, he pays rent in the shadow realm. Goodfellas says, y'all are sick people, the Knicks and the Jets. We are. Wayne says, what about kicking the tires on Zeke? I think he's shot. No, thank you. JJ's headed to the casino. Good luck, JJ. Go get him. WM says, think you can get Rodgers for peanuts. How delusional are some Packers fans? No one's trying to rob you, bro. Like, oh my God. They don't want to get, the Jets don't want to give you 2 first-round picks for a 39-year-old who's threatened retirement the last 3 years. You're not getting 2 1s for Aaron Rodgers. Get your heads out of your asses. It's enough. It's stupid. The Packer fan, please send me your tears. I will drink them on the air when this deal gets done, and there's probably not even 1 first-round pick in it. You're lucky to get a conditional 1 next year. If the Jets win a Super Bowl, I'd gladly give you our 1 next year. I'd give you it the year after, and maybe the year after that. I don't care. I want 1 before I die, all right? You guys have seen championships. I haven't. You had 33 years in a row of Hall of Fame quarterback play. I've had my entire life of shit. I'm tired of it, man. It's ridiculous. These people are sniffing glue. Luppy writes in with a super chat. We will be great this year. The deal will get done. In Joe Douglas, we trust. # keeping the faith. It is going to get done. And I will drink Packer fan tears on the air when it's not 2 1s for Aaron Rodgers. Altoona says only Joe Douglas can get multiple teams involved in a bidding war over Braden Mann. How about, I didn't even talk about this yet, Altoona. Great point. This made my day yesterday. This is almost as big as the Jets acquiring Aaron Rodgers, that they're going to get rid of Braden Mann, and they brought back Thomas Morstead. Thank God. Thank God. Arizona Jet says, where's BYU fan? He's hiding. He knows the second he says a word, he's done. Done. Shadow round for life. Percy says it'd be hilarious if the Giants swooped in and got Rodgers. Ain't going to happen. NYJ Maddie with a super chat. Adding Lazard is going to pay off. He was A-Rod's prime target last season. Garrett Wilson probably with Lazard taking pointers. Once A-Rod signs, I bet off-season practice will begin the next day with the receivers, LFG, NYJ. Another thing Aaron could easily do is if this really drags, is just get the guys together to throw. It's done all the time. FM writes in, I'm back. No, you're not. Back to the Shadow Realm, you mean. See ya. Mr. God Air writes in, Rodgers deliberately wore his Super Bowl ring during the McAfee interview. He's looking for a jet ring. He deliberately wore the ring and said everything he said because he wants it to be known to the Packer fans that it's not him that wants to leave. It's them. They don't want him. That's what happened. Does Green Bay need a punter? We'll give you Braden Mann. Can that get the deal done? Thanks for the super chat, God Air. Darren says, if I'm the Packers, I'm finding another buyer. Jets want a Hall of Fame quarterback. Nothing tells them deal's over. Ain't going to happen, Darren. Find me the team. You can't. It's not going to happen. Gino says, do you think Skoronski will fall to 13? I don't. The Patriots are not swooping in for Aaron Rodgers. Neither are the Niners. Well, the Packer fans are really out of their minds. Duncan says, JD has to keep Woody at bay. I'm worried Woody's going to force the overpay. He's not. He's not. He's going to trust Joe Douglas. John Kuhn told you that Rodgers told Joe Douglas to not make the trade because it's too much to give up. John says, Packers getting that 13th pick or it's not happening. I am willing to bet you a large sum of money it's not going to happen. You're not getting pick 13. You're not. You are not getting the 13th pick in the draft. So Packers fans, cry into a bottle, send me it, and I will drink your tears on the air. Please. FM Junior's here. Love you, Jake. FM Junior. Vito says, Jets do not have an offensive line that can protect any quarterback. They will not go to the playoffs with that O-line. Jets could do this without Rodgers. Vito, this is stupid. Their offensive line is a lot better than you even realize. Last year, the New York Jets offensive line led the NFL in injuries. That's why they struggled. They had 6 starting offensive tackles spend time on IR. Dwayne Brown played 12 games with a bum shoulder. George Fant played 8 on a bad knee. They started 11 different players and 9 different combinations on the line. Please. I can't deal with the nonsense. Packer Gamer says, you're not getting Rodgers for nothing. No crap, bozo. Take a second-round pick and a conditional 1 next year. That will most likely end up being a 2. And move on. We'll give you a pick swap this year. But 2 1s for Aaron Rodgers. Get your head out of your ass. TP says, Jake, love your responses when you get some of these crazy comments in your program. Also, kudos to the new intro on your show. It's awesome. I know they'll get it done. Thank you, TP. Appreciate that. Shout out to our guy, Gator. I'm going to put his information in the description for this video. But Jet fans, subscribe to our guy, Gator McCluskey Reviews. All right? We'll put it in the live comment again for those. But hit the subscribe. If you like my show, subscribe to his channel. Guy's got awesome content. Mr. Downtown with a super chat. Green Bay fans are crazy. They forgot Brett went for a third. They'll get more than a third this year. No one's the Jets aren't trying to rob them. Like Rodgers even noted that. They're just trying to make a fair deal. Number 1 Packers Gamer says, not my fault, Jets suck. Hey, it's not my fault that you had 33 years of Hall of Fame quarterback play and all you got was 2 rings out of that. Sorry. 2 could play at this nonsense game. This info says number 13 not on the table. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Nick with a rational comment here says 99% of Packers fans know 2 firsts is delusional, but it seems Jet fans also need to realize it will cost more than Favre. The Jets are willing to give you a second-round pick this year and a conditional pick next year that probably, that at most, maybe could be a 1. Albert Breer floated this out there. Second-round pick and a conditional pick this year. And one idea could have that pick be at a baseline, a 3rd in 2024 that becomes a 2nd if Rodgers makes the Pro Bowl on the original ballot and a 1st if the Jets get to the Super Bowl, meaning the pick would be at most number 31. It's a fair trade. No, like, do right by your star player. You don't want him. The Patriots let Tom Brady go for nothing. It's enough. Elfie says the Niners will swoop in and take him. Shadow Realm. See ya. Not doing it tonight. I got steak to eat. I'm not doing this that much longer. Can't do it. Not happening. Not happening. Franco says so many Packer fans in here. I welcome all of them. I'll be like Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards, that gyp with the sword. I can handle all the nonsense. The 2 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers at 39 years old, threatening retirement the last 3 years, and $110 million left on his deal. I'll laugh. I'll listen to it. Peter with a super chat. It is possible Green Bay's front office knows that AR doesn't like them, so it's been difficult and plans 4 more years with the Jets. Make sense? He's not playing 4 more years. And even if he does, Peter, guess what? That doesn't mean he's worth 2 first-round picks right now because the Jets don't know that. Devin writes in with a super chat. Woody's underrated. Look at the success before or after him. He's better than his brother. Woody Johnson deserves credit for making this move, period. Nick writes in, how do you call? Because I feel more rational about the compensation. We will hear from a rational Packer fan. I like that. Let's see if he's actually rational. I will post the Gustbuster hotline link for you, Nick. You copy and paste that to your web browser, and you can come on and you can talk. Dan says, how is it not done yet? Because the Packers want 2 1s for a 39-year-old threatening retirement. It will get done. I think it's done early next week. Trey Wingo has not been wrong. I'm just laughing at the delusion from some in the Packer fan base. FM Jr. says, trade sauce and numerous picks for Rodgers. FM. Shadow Realm. Get lost. Angelo says, what's up with getting a backup quarterback? Right now, it's Zach Wilson. Alien writes in, Niners fan, enjoy Sam Darnold. I mean, their preference is Purdy to start for them if he's healthy. Alfonso says, cheeseheads are forgetting he's owed buku money. Yeah, they don't factor that in. Green Bay for Life says, Jet fans want a dream deal. It won't happen. Can't wait for all you to cry at your office for giving away first-round picks. I am going to hysterically laugh when this unfolds the way we all, Jet fans, like, we already know. All right? Meet Joe Douglas. All right, here we go. Rational Packer fan Nick has called in. Nick, I appreciate you calling in, my friend. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. So from my standpoint, I agree, like, the second and the conditional is fair. I also can see a world where the Packers could get the 13 and a very heavily conditioned pick next year, but they add in their 3rd from this year. I just don't see a world where the Jets are, because from the Packers standpoint, the rumors about the 2 firsts, I've heard multiple reports denying that. I've also heard reports saying the Jets have only offered a 3rd and a 4th. A lot similar to the Favre compensation. That doesn't really seem fair to me. I feel like we'll eventually meet closer to where you are, or probably the 13th, and we offer a 3rd and Rodgers.
Fair. I just don't see a first-round pick, though, being in this. I think it's going to be heavily conditioned. Like, you get the 2nd, and if you want to, like, see, what would be the headline of the trade from the Packer angle? Rodgers for a 2nd this year and a conditional 1 next year. Then you look at the conditions, and if the Jets win the Super Bowl, you get a first-round pick. Because the headline makes it seem like, wow, you got a 2nd this year and you got a 1st, but it's not actually going to be a true 1st unless it's heavily protected. Because the Jets aren't going to operate like they have Rodgers for more than 1 year. You can't. And they're taking on all this money. That. So, like, it's probably not going to include pick 13. If anything, it would include, if there's a first-round pick unprotected in it, it's next year's 1. Not this year's 13 that the Jets need to use on a player to help Rodgers win this year.
I could see it.
Nick, I appreciate the call. Are you based in Wisconsin?
I'm actually from Massachusetts,
How
so
are you
I
a
get a lot
Packers
of
fan?
crap for being a Packers fan.
Well, you're from Massachusetts and you chose Green Bay over, I don't know, rooting for the greatest dynasty in the NFL?
I chose the team when I was very young, when my uncle died, and it was his favorite team. So,
all right, I won't kill you for that one then. Nick, I appreciate the call.
see ya.
All right, there we go. Alien writes in, Packers fans are going to get fleeced. Thanks for the Hall of Fame and enjoy your rebuild. Like, the Jets are going to give them something. They're just not, they're not going to give them 2 once. It's just nonsense. Mr. D with a super chat. Okay, let's say we get Rodgers and win the Super Bowl. I'd be happy, of course. I'm just wondering what's next after Rodgers. I don't know. I don't care. I appreciate the super chat, but I do not care. I will worry about what happens after the Jets win the Super Bowl, after they win the Super Bowl. Crazy. A guy by the name of FM Jr. is on hold right now, but his camera's not on, so we can't go to him. Those are the rules. Let's go to Franco. He's on hold. He's up next. What's up, Franco?
What's up, Jake? How's it going, man?
How we doing?
Doing all right. Hey, I just want to get on real quick. One thing, actually 3 points. Super excited. Brandon Mann might actually be gone. Thank God.
Yep.
Thomas Moore said yes. Thank you. If JD ends up trading Brandon Mann, my gosh, that would be insane.
He's going to trade him for Rodgers straight up.
I'll do it. Any day. Second thing, Elijah Moore. I've been hearing his name come up a lot on Twitter Space. I don't know why so much, but I do not want to get rid of this guy. I feel like with Rodgers on the team, he's going to be so much better as a slot guy. I think he's going to have a comeback season if he stays on the team. I really hope they don't get rid of him. I'd be pretty bummed. Third thing, did you hear Joe Caparasso post about there was Aaron Rodgers was spotted in New Jersey in Hoboken looking for a home?
Yeah, but Joe even noted, he's like, I saw this on Facebook. I don't know how true it is. Or
I don't know how true it is, but hey, I'll take it. Anything.
He's not going to live in Hoboken if when this trade goes
far.
through.
That's super far. It's like 45 minutes away.
Yeah, he's not living in Hoboken. He's gonna probably live in a nice ass mansion, which is there's plenty of them by Florham Park. Like Aaron Rodgers will find a nice suburban home. He's not gonna live in Hoboken.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's all I want to say. But yeah, see ya.
Thank you, Frank. Let's see. Number 1 Packers gamer says Rodgers not taking the Jets to a Super Bowl. Maybe not, but you know what he's not doing for you? Ever winning another one for your team. See you later. Peter says Trader Joe is going to fleece them. Probably. This is how this goes. I'm trying to be nice, but I already know how this plays out with Joe Douglas laughing and us celebrating. Wisco Wheelie says 3 first-round picks or stay. Wisco Wheelies, you seem like you're new. Enjoy the Shadow Realm. I love it, man. WM says, you ain't getting 12, man. I can't wait to come back to this boy's stream in a few weeks' time. Shadow Realm, see you later. It's done. The deal's done. It's just a matter of, is it done now or does it get done in a couple of weeks? But Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Jet. Vinny writes in, Rodgers should look to buy Tony Soprano's house in New Jersey. Hell of a home. Packers Gamer says, we need 13 or he can play one more year for Green Bay. All right, now you've done it. Shadow Realm. He's never playing for you again. He's not coming back. Your team is ready to move on from him. You have Jordan Love's 5th-year option to pick up on May 1st. It's over. Done. See ya. Boycott Activation writes in, Albert Breer questioned a bunch of GMs. They all said it should be a day 2 pick with a conditional next year, but Green Bay fans think we're wrong. Boycott, thanks to the super chat. I led my show reading Albert Breer's story today. The Jet Show says, can we restructure V-Man's contract? Does he have a contract? This will be news to me. John says, Packers can sit on Rodgers till September. Ain't going to happen. He's going to show up to camp and be a huge distraction for the players. Being asked questions, and Jordan Love, that's how you want to put Jordan Love? That's the position you want to put him in? Green Bay for Life says, Douglas said months ago he'd give up first rounders for Aaron Rodgers. Do you guys not listen to what he says? All right, lying gets you in the shadow realm. Joe Douglas has never said that because Aaron Rodgers is under contract. So he cannot publicly speak about Aaron Rodgers because he never has. Rico says these cheeseheads have no idea what they're dealing with. No. I'm not even trying to rob them. We're just talking about a fair trade. You're not getting a first-round pick for Rodgers. You're not getting 2 ones for him. Wolf says deal will be done with no number 13. Packer fan can call back after. Please do. Please do. Dan says, when would you be worried if the trade hasn't been made? Opening day. It's going to get done well before then. But honestly, if the deal was made before opening day, I bet you Aaron Rodgers could go out there and play. Baker Mayfield won a game this year, and he was a Ram for 2 days. Aaron Rodgers already knows Nate Hackett's offense. Hawk says, Jake hands out guillotines like he's King Jeffrey. Hell yeah. Dumpy Tree Fog, thanks for the super chat. Goodfellow says, cheer up. You guys think you found the next name it. You know what we found? A franchise quarterback. You know what you found? Shadow Realm. Peter with a super chat. Once Rodgers comes over, how quickly do you envision Adam Sandler in a movie a la Rex Ryan in That's My Boy? Cry Packers Cry. I mean, it's going to get done, Peter. I look forward to it. Wolf says it's crowded in the realm. It is. Vinny says, Jake, what package could Douglas offer to Green Bay that will land him executive of the year? Braden Mann for Rodgers. That's the deal. Matt says, worst host I've ever seen. Boots everyone. LOL. Matt, Shadow Realm. You know what's funny? These Packers fans don't get it. All right? I got 800 people watching me right now. I'm going to have thousands after the fact. Like, welcome. We do this. See you later, Matt. Frank with a super chat. Cole Beasley said it best. The AR-12 disrespect is nuts. This man played with Josh Allen and went out there and tweeted, other than Mahomes, there's no other quarterback in the NFL that's better than Rodgers. He played with Josh Allen. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. And when he's pissed off like he is right now, that's how he won back-to-back MVPs. And it's coming, Jet fans. We're going to get that version. Hank says, Shadow Realm equals Wisconsin today. I mean, I'm not trying to, like, Shadow Realm people, but when you're a Packer fan, you come here and say, 2 first-round picks. It's an automatic Shadow Realm. See ya. 2 firsts and a 4th. Shadow Realm. Brombo says, Tom Grossi, I don't know who Tom Grossi is. I'm not a Packers fan. HLR says, how about helping Jake get the 30,000 subs? Please, welcome aboard. Mark says 2 first-round picks and a 4th. Mark, Shadow Realm. See ya. Pierre says invasion of cheeseheads. I welcome it. All right. Hey, cheeseheads, watch this. Enough. Wayne says pissed off, chip on his shoulder, quarterback trade of the century. Hell yeah. Prestige says Tom Grossi's a Packers YouTuber. He's pretty big with 500K dubs. Cool. Good for him. I'm not a Packer fan, so I don't watch his content. I wish him well, though. Patty says Rodgers is so great. Why not willing to give up picks? Patty, the Jets are willing to give up picks. They're not going to give up 2 first-round picks for a 39-year-old who has $110 million left on his contract, who has contemplated retirement the last 3 years. That's why. Rodgers is great, but he might only be here for 1 year. So why would the Jets give you 2 ones? Luppy says best trade is FM for Rodgers. If Douglas can swindle the Packers in an FM for Aaron Rodgers deal, he deserves a lifetime extension. FM says Antonio Brown will be the best free agent signing in Jets history. FM, Shadow Realm. See ya. Frank says, with the quarterback rules today, why can't Rodgers play 4 more years, assuming he wanted to? He could. You think he's playing 4 more years? He's already said he's not playing till 45. He's not doing what Brady did. Peter says, tagged you in a tweet. Well, Peter, I'll take a look. Oh, this is a funny tweet. Live look at Jake Asman sent to the Shadow Realm in the last 20 minutes. I'm going to retweet that. Everyone follow me at Jake Asman if you want to see Peter's tweet. Nick says, I honestly do not get the Joe Douglas love other than this past draft, which was great. What has he done in a trade? Nick, let me introduce you to Joe Douglas's trade history. Chris Herndon for a 4th-round pick. Sam Darnold for a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th. Jamal Adams, who is a bigger liability in pass coverage than Ryan Gosling in Remember the Titans, for 2 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick. Joe Douglas wins trades, trading up for Jermaine Johnson, trading up for Breece Hall. He wins trades. Val Milton Fung with a super chat says, swap 13 for 15, a conditional 4 in 2024, 2nd, a max for a Super Bowl, a conditional 3rd in 2025 if he plays in 2024, and Corey Davis. That's more along the lines of what I think this ends up being. Bell says Green Bay needs to stop watching Stephen A. Smith. They do, because Stephen A. Smith's like, give whatever, Jets. You got to get him. It's like, they're going to get him, Stephen A., and not give up 2 first-round picks. Zach says, Jake, do you think it should be 1 first-rounder or 2? Ha. The Armchair Packer says, hey, Jake, Packer fan here. What would you give up for Rodgers? What I would do is what Albert Breer has suggested. I would give up the 43rd overall pick this year, which is the Jets' 2nd-round pick, a conditional pick or 2 on the back end. Like, to me, it would be, a 2nd-round pick this year and a conditional 1 in 2024. Here's how it works. It's a 3rd up front. You're getting a 3rd-round pick next year. It becomes a 2nd if Rodgers makes the Pro Bowl as a Jet. It becomes a 1st if Rodgers wins an MVP as a Jet or the Jets win the Super Bowl. And I'd be willing to obviously, give maybe a 4th-round pick this year as well. Connor Hughes had 2 and a 4 this year, conditional 4 next year, 3 for playoffs, 2 if Rodgers plays in 2024, 1 if the Jets win the Super Bowl. That's what I'm looking for. Conditional picks. With the biggest piece of the deal being the Jets' 2nd rounder this year. Blade writes in. I'm 51. Never believed I'd see a Jets Super Bowl in my lifetime. I now believe AR gets us 1, maybe 2. Jalen Carter falls to 13. Do you draft him? I can't answer that question without knowing what the Jets have already done on defensive line and what their report on Jalen Carter's character reveals to them. As far as Rodgers winning them a Super Bowl 1 or 2, I have a funny feeling if he wins 1 this year with the Jets, he retires. Sign me up for that. Luppy says, this is a Shadow Realm record. Hawk writes in, he got a 5th for Blake Cashman. Great point. Jacob Martin, he won that one. Oh, by the way, he traded up for ABT too. Great callback by Ricky. Dumpy Tree Frog with a super chat. Let me introduce you to Joe Douglas's record, 20-46. Look, the record's not great, but you know what the record's about to be when he acquires Aaron Rodgers? Really good. And the record's not great because in 2020, the Jets went out there and they went 2-14. So that skews things. With Adam Gase as the coach he inherited. He didn't hire Gase. You want to judge Joe Douglas, judge him on 2021 and 2022 and now 2023. The New York Bully says, what's good, Jake? Would you trade for Jonah Williams? I'd trade a 4th at best for him since he wants out. He's only 25 with a 2023 $12 million cap hit. He stinks. No. There's a reason why he's available. G Money with a super chat. The Packers could throw in Giannis and not get a first. Ha! I'll tell you what, they throw in Giannis, I'd happily give them a first. And we could do it. Can we get the Knicks involved in this deal? Dude, the Wisconsin sports fan would kill themselves if Rodgers and Giannis were in a deal that went back the other way. That'd be hilarious. Blue Line Odds writes in. Thanks for the super chat. Armchair says, would you give the 13th pick and that's it? No. You can get the 2024 pick and that's it. I maybe would listen to that. And the Jets could keep their 1st and 2nd rounder this year to put players around Aaron. I'd do that. I'd give up a 1 next year if that's all it is. But you're not getting the 1 this year. I don't even think you have to give up your 1 next year. That's what Albert Breer was saying when he spoke with GMs who were not involved in this deal. Unreal. Pierre says, Jake, your channel going to blow up this summer. Hell yeah, baby. Aaron Rodgers is good for business. No doubt about that. Adam says, Douglas inherited a toilet of a roster. He inherited a franchise expansion level roster. An expansion level roster. Shadow Flare Gaming. Don't forget, Joe traded down for Mims. He did, but that's not a great move. So whatever. Cool Hand says, let's give this year's 2nd and Corey Davis because they need a veteran receiver, a 3rd-round pick that's conditional MVP, 2nd Super Bowl appearance, 1st-round pick. That's fair, Packers fans. That is fair. FM says, trade Sauce for Rodgers. FM, see you later. Arizona Jet, come back when the trade is done. LOL, JD's a wizard. I hope all these Packers fans come back after the trade. I look forward to it. Weed the People says, I told you Rodgers said he's coming. Leo writes in, any chance of getting Gardner Johnson? Yeah, he's still a free agent. I think the Jets should be in on him. Super chat from Brambo. Joe Douglas has more winning trades than winning seasons. By the way, F. Albert Breer. Joe Douglas hasn't been around long enough to have these great winning seasons. He inherited the worst team in the NFL. Certainly one of them. You're just upset as a Packers fan at Albert Breer speaking with other GMs who all came back with the consensus they wouldn't trade a first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers. NYJ Maddie says, Jake, no offense. I witnessed your channel blowing up this past season. Next year to the moon. Love your content. Thank you, Maddie. Yeah, the channel's already blown up, man. I got almost 30,000 subscribers. You guys are amazing. Brambo says, shut up and pay up. Brambo, enjoy the Shadow Realm. But I do thank you for your super chat. Jesse writes in with a super chat. Jake, what's with Mike Tannenbaum's vendetta against the Jets? Former GM traded a conditional fourth for Favre and now is saying the Packers have leverage in the exact same situation 15 years later. Shake my head. I don't really know, but Tannenbaum is wrong. His whole point is, well, the Packers have Jordan Love. The Jets don't have a quarterback. But the Packers cannot let it drag on. Rodgers' money is a factor in all this. Then you factor in the uneasiness of Rodgers showing up to OTAs to make it uncomfortable for the organization. And you want to drag it along, a franchise legend? You want to try and screw him on the way out? John Kuhn told you Rodgers has already informed Joe Douglas, don't make the trade now because you're giving up too much. There needs to be a fair deal. That's all the Jets are trying to get done. Colorado with a super chat. It ends up more like 13 for 45 with a conditional third and 24. I'm not trading the 13th pick. Not happening. Eileen says, why are so many fans down on JD? They're not Jet fans, Eileen. They're Packer fans. That's what this is. It's been a cheesehead takeover on this channel. It's been funny. Dan says, would you recommend the purchase of an Allen Lazard jersey? I'd say you wait till he chooses a number because he's not wearing 13. Billy says, 805 watching, only 111 likes. Smash the like button. Please. A couple more, then we'll get out of here. I was only going to go live for 30 minutes. I look up, it's now over an hour and a half. I got steak to eat, college basketball to watch. But I'll keep going because you guys are awesome. Hey, Jake, how do you feel about OBJ? I say pass because I don't want him around our young guys like Garrett, Brees, Sauce, etc. Yeah, look, it depends on the price. If Aaron wants him and the money's not crazy, you don't dismiss talent. He's Odell Beckham. Depends on the money, though. I don't think he ends up with the Jets, though. I'd be surprised. Lee says, you really wouldn't give up the 13th for Rodgers. Holy crap, Lee. He's not worth that. You don't just blindly give you the 13th pick for no reason. You're not getting it. He's not playing for any other team. He's not playing for your team. You're not getting a first-round pick. He's 39 years old. He's threatened retirement the last 3 years. The Jets are absorbing $110 million. No, you're not getting the 13th pick. We're going to do something your franchise didn't do. Try and help Aaron Rodgers win a championship. We're going to use that 13th pick on maybe a receiver, an offensive tackle. We're not going to take Jordan Love. Goodness gracious. God, I can't. The New York Bully says everyone in the Shadow Realm has to go fight Goro. I don't know who Goro is, but sign me up for that. Holy crap. Just stupid. Charles writes in, Jets favorites for Hard Knocks. If they want to do it, they'll get it. But the NFL's not going to force them. They'll choose a team that wants to do it before they would force any team. Lee says back-to-back MVP, not worth a first. Was he the MVP this year, Lee? Goodness gracious. Lee, find a different show, man. Please. Please. Go get your cheesehead propaganda from somebody else. This is unreal. All right. I'm going to go enjoy some alcohol. college hoops and a steak because someone gave me a $100 super chat earlier to ban a troll for life. I appreciate all of you. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Jet fans, you guys are the greatest. Delusional Packers fans, welcome. Thanks for watching, even though you're still delusional. We will talk to you guys soon. Everyone have a great one. Go Jets. And when Joe Douglas wins this trade, I look forward to drinking all your sad tears, Packers fans. Have a good one, everybody.